Good evening, this is the Oscar Expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review NYAD. This is the first non-documentary feature film from the directors of Free Solo and The Rescue. And like those films, this is about a seemingly impossible triumph of human determination. This is about the 60-year-old Diane NYAD who swam from Cuba to Florida. This film is very straightforward in what you'd expect, but there are some things I found surprising and that I would not have known about this story and how challenging this was. Specifically obstacles like sharks and jellyfish that can make or break a swim. If nothing else, this is going to give you a greater appreciation for what went into making this possible. The presentation to this movie is not as impressive as The Rescue, or especially Free Solo. Yeah. I don't think as documentary filmmakers, they come through with that strong of a narrative style. I mean, they actually do inject some documentary footage into the movie, which for the most part, I didn't really mind. There are a couple moments that are pretty clunky, specifically the flashbacks, which just happen at random times when she's swimming. It's sort of incoherent what you're actually supposed to be taking away from them. And there's a distracting, shimmery filter over all of them, which is just a thing I don't like about flashback scenes in general, is that they think they have to have like a sheen over them. It's weird. And there are a couple moments that are very strange and weird and cringe, specifically one or two moments that involve some visual effects work that is just kind of bizarre. There are some parts where she's like about to lose or fail, where she's like really just in that state and she's like choking on water, where I actually did kind of feel it. Personally, I might have preferred some lingering camera work so we could feel the duration and the plight of this swim a little bit more. For the most part, you feel that through conflict, obstacles that are getting in the way, rather than having a visceral appreciation for what a long swim like that might feel like. But it was intense in certain scenes, and I wouldn't say this is altogether missing. The reason that I'm overall positive on it is because I just thought that the two main characters were interesting. I liked watching their chemistry, I liked watching them banter because they just had such a deeply lived-in friendship, and I thought that was well captured. Annette Bening's character in particular was a very odd character to be on screen, I thought. A little bit of a weird human being. Like, she says cringe things about herself and like her own destiny, and her eyes just being like, I know that I can do this. It's like a little weird. And this even rubbed some people the wrong way, where they said Annette Bening's performance is weird and it's off. I disagree. I think Annette Bening embraced those weirder and cringier aspects of this human being, which to me made her interesting to watch. And it was nicely contrasted with Jodie Foster giving a very grounded, natural performance. But the fact that people are reading the performance differently, I think does point to some sort of misstep, some mismatch between the tone that the filmmakers are setting and the performance. But I also thought that as a biopic, this movie didn't just feel like it was trying to serve this character and be like, this is the greatest person, she's just the most nice and awesome. To some people, she might even be quite unlikable at times. Yeah. But I think by the end of this film, you come away with an understanding of why the people around her liked being by her side, despite the challenging personality that she has. I think it did take a little bit long to acknowledge the glaring selfishness that Diane NYAD possessed here. And I can see people thinking, you know, oh, are we supposed to see her as being bad, or are we supposed to see her as being flawed? I'm not sure where I'm supposed to fall here. I was oscillating between being pulled in and then being taken out, because as you might imagine, it's a bit of a repetitive story. It felt like it may have been a challenge to fill all 90 minutes here, but I think there's a great payoff in the end. The end was so strong that may have put a tear in my eye, and it effectively delivers a positive and inspirational message to its audience. 90 minutes, more like 120 minutes. That was one of the problems I had with this movie. Oh, really? It was that long? Yeah. A lot of the movie is just her attempting again and again. There were times where I was almost itching to fast forward because I was like, I know what's about to happen. But overall, I was just won over enough by the message of the story. Just, you know, it's like whatever. But it was more just seeing this character up close and just being interested in her and the people around her. And I also will shout out another performance besides the main two, which is Rhys Ifans. I would give NYAD a 6 out of 10. I would give it between a 6 and a 7. Talk about Oscars here, there's two performances that obviously have buzz. Jodie Foster as NYAD's coach, and Annette Bening in the lead. Some people seem very confident that there's an Oscar nomination coming both of their ways, and I do not think we are that confident. These are really good performances from both of them, but I don't know if we can say they're career best performances. Well, it's just like to get nominated for a movie that's all right and sort of predictable might be an obstacle, and also the unlikability factor might be there too with this main character. I mean, Jodie Foster is a very meaty supporting role, but it's not like a transformation type of thing. Like, I think that they might show up somewhere, like maybe Annette Bening will get like a SAG nom and it'll be like, ooh, she is in the conversation. But like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like they're gonna fall short. I have seen some people say that this could get Best Picture. It's not happening. That's an insane thing to say. Maybe this can get makeup because there's a lot of like sunburnt looks and there's jellyfish stings and there's cracked like cold lips. I don't know if it's like crazy, but maybe there's something there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. How far can you swim?